All right, today we are logging into one of the great digital mysteries, a story that's been making people laugh for years. We are, of course, talking about that one time the computer swallowed Grandma.
So the poem just drops this on you, right out of the gate. A shocking confession. Not maybe, not sort of, the computer swallowed Grandma. It's so matter-of-fact, so bizarre, you just have to know what happens next.
And that's really the big question we're digging into here. How did this happen? I mean, what turns a simple desktop PC into a granny-gobbling machine? Was it a bug, a feature? Let's follow the digital trail and see if we can figure it out.
Okay, so picture this. It all begins right there, at the keyboard. Grandma's just sitting there, maybe checking her email, doing normal grandma stuff, when she does something totally ordinary, and it leads to her being completely absorbed.
And get this, that's it. That's all it took. 2 little keystrokes. A combination that most of us probably use a dozen times a day without even thinking. But for poor Grandma, it was a one-way ticket into the motherboard. 1 second she's there, and the next, poof, gone.
Yeah, and let's be super clear about this. She didn't just wander off. The poem is very specific. She was devoured, consumed, wiped from the physical world. This wasn't just some error message. This was a digital dinner party.
So with Grandma missing in action, our narrator immediately shifts into detective mode. And the first order of business, you gotta identify the culprit. The prime suspects are, well, 2 of the usual digital troublemakers.
So there you have it, the 2 leading theories from our narrator. And this, right here, is where the whole poem just gets so wonderfully clever with its language.
Okay, let's break this down, because this is the absolute core of the joke. See, in the computer world, a virus is just malicious code. But the poem imagines it as a real biological germ, one that made Grandma sick. And a computer worm, that's just a type of malware. But in the poem, it's a literal, wriggly little creature that actually ate her. The humor comes from taking these tech terms completely literally.
All right, so they have a couple of theories. Now what? Well, the rescue mission begins. And our narrator doesn't mess around. They launch a full-on, system-wide search and rescue operation.
And the search is so methodical. First, you check the most logical place, right? The recycle bin. Maybe the computer tried to delete her. No luck there. Okay, next step. They scan every single file on the machine. Nothing. So finally, the search goes global. They search the entire internet. And when you've tried everything you can think of, what do? You call in an expert. So in this moment of pure desperation, our narrator turns to the most trusted digital assistant of that era for some help.
Now, for anyone who might not remember, Ask Jeeves was this huge search engine back in the late 90s and early 2000s. You could literally ask it a question just like you were talking to someone, and this friendly virtual butler would go find the answer for you. It was a big deal.
But even the amazing Jeeves came back empty-handed. The search is a total dead end. Not a single trace of Grandma could be found anywhere online.
But our narrator has one last wild idea. If they can't find Grandma, maybe someone else can. And so they turn to us, the readers, with a very strange, very specific request.
And here it is, the brilliant final punchline. The plea treats a human being exactly like a piece of data. Don't call for help, don't file a missing persons report. No, just copy, scan, and paste her into a reply. I mean, let's just appreciate this 4-step recovery plan. It's basically tech support for a lost relative. Step 1, find her in your email. Step 2, copy her data. Step 3, scan her, to make sure all the bits and bytes are there. And finally, just paste her into a new email and hit send. Problem solved. So you have to wonder, right? Why is this funny, anonymous little poem stuck around for so long? It's more than just a silly story. It's really a perfect snapshot of a time when we were all just getting used to this new technology in our homes. Here's the absolute magic of it. The poem takes all this abstract computer language, these invisible concepts, and it makes them real. It gives them a funny, physical, and kind of terrifying form. It makes the digital world feel tangible. And just look at this list. The entire story is built using the vocabulary of a desktop computer. Every single plot point, from her disappearance to the final rescue attempt, is a tech term. It's a whole narrative told using the language of the very machine that caused all the trouble.
And that really leaves us with a fun final thought. This poem is such a time capsule of the dial-up era. But if it were written today, what would have gotten her?
Would she be devoured by the cloud? Maybe she'd get lost in the algorithm? Or get permanently deleted by a bad swipe on a dating app? It just proves that our anxieties about technology are always changing. But the story, well, the story stays the same.